I think Sven gave me like a very vague idea of what it was, but I haven't really heard it. But no, I'm excited. This
Yeah.
show is about controversial takes, so we're don't even
That's
worry
what I
about it.
was told before Sven asked me to join.
Yeah.
I think you could tell that I have some of my own and I talk my shit in these games. So happy to contribute.
I
You're
love it.
what's the word? Antagonistic a little bit. I've seen in some of these games. I don't
Is
know.
that the word we're using? I wasn't the word I would. That's not the word I would use.
Okay, okay. What's the word you would use?
I would say hot,
Okay.
spirited,
Okay. I love that.
beautiful, funny.
Oh, we're getting into Hinge profile territory now.
This
Yeah,
Hinge, this sounds like Tinder. I don't know.
whatever. And we're talking about werewolf, ironically.
Very true.
Not scruffies. No.
No, not scruffies. Wait, what's wrong with scruffies?
Girl, what's right with scruffies? If we want to get into,
This
we
is
want to
true.
start there. No, but anyways, I'm excited. Yeah, happy to. As you can tell, I am very spirited, antagonistic, if you will. But
Somehow,
ultimately, I am passionate about my opinions. That's what we'll say.
Good. No, we love it.
Yeah.
That's what we look for here.
I like that the roundabout moment was getting to the word passionate. Like we got through hot, beautiful, all the words. Passionate is where we landed.
Right, right.
Speaking of landing, let's land into this episode. Three,
Let's do it.
2, 1.
Pick a side now, ain't no neutral in chat. Your five versus mine, we gotta clash.
Who's this?
I'm running out of time to look at the past. Speaking my truth, they told me put it in a podcast. Intros, outros, yo, show me how to laugh. Cause who versus you versus who versus you versus who.
Welcome back, everybody, to yet another beautiful, passionate episode of You versus Who. I'm your host, Sven, and with me I have my co-host.
It's Dan. I'm here. I'm hot. I'm ready. I'm scruffed up. I'm ready to go.
His little Caesar's hot and ready kills me every time.
$5
That's our
not in
second
this
Caesar's
economy.
Pizza reference in 2 episodes, by the way. I don't know
This
if
is
you
Okay.
caught that.
Let's keep track. I got notes here. No, because this is a show of hot takes about everyday debates. It is a show where we talk about all things nerdy, all things geeky, and quite
And
simply,
quite simply, all things.
there it is.
Love it.
And so today we have, as people who are maybe watching might notice, a guest with us. And
Hi, everyone.
if you've been listening, then you've heard the very antagonistic Kyle.
Guilty as charged, all of the above, but happy to be here with
Welcome, Kyle.
my hot takes. Yes.
Love it. Love it. You're going to
Kyle,
fit right in, I can tell.
Yeah.
1000%. Famous cat dad, host of LRG, right? Cautious Castle.
Yes, yes. LRG, you could technically, I guess this is a hot take in itself. I could say live reality game is fully encompassing of anything that you play, whether you're in person, whether you're at home. Some people are very specific about orgs, online reality games versus LRGs, live reality games, but I host both, so I guess
Yeah,
either
that's
way is
true.
fine. Yeah.
So
You're like
ORG/LRG.
incredibly busy. And as someone who's very lightly served on the production side of some of your games, you guys go like all out. It is so impressive to see how much work. Like Sven and I run a podcast and a YouTube show, and it's just the two of us. And I'm always like, oh, like we're doing so much. This is so intense. And then I look at like what you do, and I'm just like, that's crazy. That
Thank you.
wheels are still running. Like that's nuts.
I'm actually impressed you took the time out of your very busy schedule to do this show with us.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
honestly,
Grateful.
I have some family visiting right now, so this is actually a perfect little break from, if you will. No, but I'm very excited. Big fans of both of you, obviously, from these games that we've played and I've played. Not done the most, maybe done the worst.
Also,
Unweighted in Starcade history. I'll put that little asterisk there. Probably on the lower end on the weighted scale as well. but that's okay.
I thought you
But
did pretty good personally. That's just my
honest,
recollection of the game. But yeah,
Once
it's
yeah, yeah.
it's hard to tell.
when one of the
I
alumni
won by
posts,
Shelly winning. Okay, if Shelly, you're listening, the one cameo I'll give you, Shelly. But if you're listening here, I won by you winning, so I'm happy.
Perfect.
shout outs. There we go.
Well,
We
I will
love
say
it.
the Cautious Castle alum makes up probably 95% of the people who played,
Yeah,
and I think 100% of the people who won. Maybe I don't know.
that's
I
so
didn't really do
funny.
the math, but
I
it's
can't.
up there.
I'm not great at math either, but maybe also like 30% of the listeners of this show. So like somewhere it's
Solid.
all integrated somehow.
Yeah. Thank you, Cautious Castle.
I love it. Yes, thank you, Kasha. She's over here somewhere.
Shout out to Kasha's Castle. Shout out to Kasha herself, the queen.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, so if this is the first time you guys are tuning into the show, or if you have a terrible memory like I do, then let me explain it to you guys. The way the show works is we have two buckets. We have what we like to call the bopas. I got a lovely set of bopas.
Okay.
The show gets a little spicy sometimes. So we have the side quest bopa and the main quest bopa. The side quest bopa is going to be more water cooler topics, very top of the brain. No got to really think too hard. We could run through them as quickly as we want. We can dive a little deeper if we need to. And then the main quest bucket is definitely the ones that are hotter. They're like a Little Caesar sponsored. They're hot and ready.
Sure.
Yeah. This is the one where it gets a little dangerous, where friendships might be tested, where
Cautious
arguments.
Cautious canceled.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, Cautious Castle canceled. It's
Maybe.
over for me after Who versus You.
That's it, no more. And then, of course, with every guest, we have the Golden Stub segment where we will let Kyle present his Golden Stub, his hot take.
Really excited to hear Kyle's Golden Stub. I think this will be our third one, and I was really happy with the last two, and it just like
Okay.
I'm pumped.
He
I
has to
hope I
say
don't
that.
let you down. It was like fairly. I was trying to get really inspired and deep into it, but I didn't want to like niche myself into a bucket, if you will. Funny enough. So I was like, what is one of just like the strongest opinions I have? And I left it loose. So I'm excited to spill. I know
No, I love
Seth's
it.
already gonna come for me. He's already gonna stand on my neck based on the message I got back. Oh, Kasha's behind us, but
Hi, Kasha. Actually, why not? My fingers kind of grabbed at at a white ticket, which are the
alright.
newer ones. So why not? Oh yeah, for the people who have been following the show, maybe our Japanese listeners who've somehow has been increasing over time.
Well, yeah, for some reason Japan listens to this podcast. Was it more than anybody else?
In the last week or so.
Okay.
Okay.
But they make up
Thank
like
you.
a huge demographic right now. So if you have been following the show,
Konnichiwa.
Yeah, konnichiwa.
Let me not. Sorry.
hajimemashite. I know a little Japanese. I've been reworking the buckets. If you can't see, they're full of like these new white tickets. I've went to the store and grabbed movie tickets, like the old Admit ones,
I love that.
to be very on brand.
Okay, budget.
Yeah.
And to put the budget's increasing every episode. And
Thank you,
so
Japan.
thank you, Japan. Thanks. The first ticket is also, I like this. I like this a lot because it's very reminiscent of our very first bucket poll that Dan and I had on the show, which most people might think was fixed, but it was absolutely not fixed. It was the chocolate versus vanilla. That was our very first one. And that
Okay.
seems like, okay, first episode, side quest. I see the premise. There's like a storyline happening here. But this show is all about chaos and unprovoked questions. So we don't know. Don't know what the ticket's going to be. But this ticket reminds me of that. It's bacon versus sausage.
Okay. I have been a vegetarian for 10 years.
I had a feeling. I was like, watch Kyle be a vegetarian.
So, but I have opinions, I suppose.
Okay. Is there like
Let me
soy?
let y'all spill. Let me let y'all spill, and I will come at it from a like aesthetics perspective, perhaps. Maybe
Fair.
a like what I think gives you status in life, if you will. Like
Ooh,
I'm
okay.
honestly, I have no opinion on that regardless. But
No, I love
let's
that.
get into it.
Yeah, go ahead, Sven.
So I'm strongly bacon. I was raised in New York City. Bacon, egg, and cheese is just, it's a must. It's literally like a staple in this city. So I would have to go with bacon, egg, and cheese. Bacon, bacon. It's bacon all the way.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna agree. I think I'm not like I do think there's like a sense it's like similar to McDonald's where it's like when you're eating it, you're like, I know this is bad for me. You know what I mean? That happens with bacon, that doesn't really happen with sausage. But at the same time, I just like sausage is, I think, boring. I think it's just like it's not as fun. And I just think bacon is like a cultural phenomenon too. There's like bacon candles, bacon scented air freshener. Like bacon is like such
See,
a cultural moment, right? That I feel
Chocolate
like
covered bacon.
what's that?
yes.
Yeah,
Chocolate
exactly.
covered. I mean,
Bacon
you could
donuts. They do
bacon.
have like a maple bacon donut.
Yeah. And then you don't get like a sausage donut. Like
No,
that sounds gross.
let's
Like I said it
not.
out loud and I'm like, that's disgusting.
Well, you
I just think
could. It could be like a sausage crumble donut. You know what I'm saying?
I
it just doesn't
see.
sound good.
I have seen like donut sandwiches with like sausage in it, or
Mm-hmm.
what are
Okay.
they? I don't know, like a cronut or
A
something where they've
cronut.
made
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a sandwich. I am gonna agree with the two of you. I think bacon gives status.
Mhm.
Like you're hot girls eat bacon. I don't know why I just like
It's true.
that feels like something that I would say if I ate bacon.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna ask what you meant by like it gives you status. That explained everything.
thanks.
You know how, like, avocado is sort of having a moment too, where, like, everybody's sort of obsessed with putting avocado stuff? I feel like bacon's that girl that's always been there. You know what I
It's
mean? Like,
always been there. Yeah.
avocados had its time. I think there was a moment where, like, cranberries and kale were like, you know what I mean? They all had, like, a
Not
moment
my
where they were
moment.
what's that?
I said not a moment for me.
No, not me
No,
either, but,
I'm
like,
kidding.
I
for
love
other
cranberry and
people, it
kale,
had
by the
moments.
way.
But I just feel like bacon has, like, always been popular. It's
Right.
always like, I can think back to, like, high school when people were talking about how
Mhm.
much they love bacon. Like, it was always a thing, you know?
I feel
Can
like
I throw one thing at you too, though,
Mhm.
that was on my mind when we saw this topic is undercooked or overcooked bacon is both like a lot worse than undercooked, overcooked sausage to me, I think. Like
True.
really, really crispy bacon or like bacon that's too underdone, that used to send me into like a spiral. I
Yeah.
will say, like it has to be right.
it has to be
You're
right.
absolutely right. Because like, undercooked bacon is like bad ham. Like, it just
It's like,
it you know what I mean? It's like a fully different food.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
demented.
That's a good point.
So for me, it's like bacon is considered meat candy. Like it's called that a lot, you know, and that's why
Yeah,
it's the more popular one. It is meat candy when you think about it. It's like you can
that
apply
was
it
my
to
name in
sweet.
prison.
Yeah, it's
Glad you said it before I did.
it goes on sweet and savory dishes. Where sausage, like you said earlier, it's not as common on sweeter dishes, but I think you can. I do want to play devil's advocate for sausage here a little bit because I'm not a hater of sausage by any means. I just don't prefer it. But sausage, if it's made correctly with like the right amount of seasonings, it can be versatile. I feel like it can be like you can make all kinds of style of sausage. It's just like depending on what you put into it. Whereas like bacon is just good right off the cut. So like that's probably why it wins.
Yeah.
Is this breakfast sausage in like particular? Is that what we're debating, or is this like expanding? Because when I ate meat, I was in Germany for a little while, and I really liked like bratwurst and like all the stands that they
True.
had there. So if we're expanding into sausage, I think there is a lot of. Well, maybe we're getting a little too far out here.
No, I
We are
think you're
not.
right.
That's what this show's about. We can't. Let's expand it a little bit.
Yeah,
Let's zoom
because
out.
Bacon
yeah,
bacon, like, is a breakfast food. Sausage is all day long. Like, you can have it for anything. You can have it within dinner. Chorizo, is that sausage?
So it's kind
is
of
it
like
sausage?
it's like
Yeah,
a
I guess so.
Mexican sausage, you know, like it's a.
I'm not great with food. I I do feel like I've had sausage beyond breakfast,
Mhm.
you know?
Well, I'll fight you back on that too, because you could put bacon on most things. You like there's bacon cheeseburgers. You can have bacon for like
You're
lunch
right.
and dinner. You know, there's a BLT for like a little brunch lunch situation.
Not
Yeah.
my
Um,
favorite.
Hey, I mean, you don't eat meat, so like I wouldn't expect it to be. Wait,
Yeah,
so as a vegetarian, what's like your go-to breakfast?
I was okay. I go to breakfast. That could be a lot of different things. If I want something substantial, and I guess this could kind of put a bow on this conversation as well. I was going to look at it from the vegetarian perspective too, because there are all of these new and not so new, like meat alternatives, right? Like plant based, where you can really kind of get into eating. Sometimes I feel like we lost the plot though. I'm like, am I just eating a burger? You know,
Yeah.
I've been
No,
vegetarian for
100%.
10 years, and I feel like we didn't have this until like a year ago or something. You're not a year ago. That's maybe 4 or 5 years. But
COVID shaved
anyways,
off like 3 of those, so it makes sense. Yeah. Time
yeah.
dilation is a thing.
What I will say, I am a light breakfast person, so I don't tend to jump into those like fake meat alternatives in general, but vegan breakfast sausage patties are actually quite good. And they're like with some eggs, you can put it on a sandwich or you can cook it up, like you can air fry it really easily. And you don't need to do a lot with it. I don't think vegetarian bacon is like there yet. Or maybe it never will be. And maybe it's just because of like, how do you crisp it up like that without making it
Yeah.
a cardboard, or what it
Right.
really usually ends up being. So I do like lean heavily into the vegan vegetarian sausages, like chorizo especially. I'll have a crumble with like pasta. Yeah, I guess spaghetti, but
For
like
breakfast?
not for breakfast. So I'm just now I'm getting over
Just in general, yeah.
to answer what I have for breakfast. I'll usually have like some toast, a banana, maybe my like childhood thing that I connect with is I'll put down some toaster waffles and then I'll put peanut butter on it and like make it into a sandwich just so I
So
can get
good.
some protein and like a quick little snack. That's
Hate
what I used
peanut
to have.
butter, so I can't.
Okay, okay. I don't like chocolate, so that's another like this is a
Okay.
could switch it up. Like I don't fuck with chocolate, and I don't fuck with. Can I cuss on here?
You can absolutely cuss.
Okay, I don't fuck with chocolate. I don't like fuck with Nutella. I tried for a really long time to pretend it was different than chocolate, and it just isn't.
Where
But
was Kyle in our first episode? Because
Truly. Truly.
this
yeah,
was
I don't like chocolate ice cream either. Vanilla all the way. But anyways, breakfast, yeah. Like I'm a light breakfast kind of person, so I'm
Yeah.
pretty easy, pretty snacky, if you will.
No, I
toast,
think that's a good point, yeah.
toast and banana. Dan, what do you eat for breakfast usually?
We need to toast with peanut butter, or I do banana with peanut butter.
Okay.
I just like the combination is just like really, really good. Like it was my college meal I used to just slice up a banana and then put the peanut butter on it. And then I got really lazy and it would literally just be like the full uncut banana. And I would just spread peanut butter over the top of it and then chop it up. Could not be lazier. And I still do it every now and then when I'm just like really quick to make a breakfast. Is it good for you? No, but it's super fast and it's super easy. And
It's
I
not
love peanut
bad
butter.
for you though. Wait, because a
I was
banana
gonna
with
say,
peanut butter,
Yeah,
it's
that's a good
not bad.
point.
I was like, don't come for
I'm
that
like,
because that's
I will
people eat
say,
cereal. Like,
for the amount of peanut butter that I put on it, it might not be the best. I put a lot of peanut butter, and I also, might be a controversial take. I only eat non-fat peanut butter now. The
Hmm.
non-fat Skippy is a million times better than normal Skippy peanut butter, to the point where I can't eat normal Skippy peanut butter anymore. It is just so good. I can eat it right out of the jar. It's just like, it's a texture thing. It's a little like sweeter. It's really, really good. So I'll put that on a banana, and that's my breakfast.
Definitely open to that because I do try to change peanut butters fairly frequently. Like
Okay.
I'm not brand loyal, if you will. And so
it's
when I keep
2026,
like
honey. I mean,
it's 2026. I
nobody is.
can't be loyal to anybody these days.
Who can
In
we
this
trust
economy,
anymore?
who can you trust? Yeah. but I should try non-fat because I tried one with a little honey in it and it was okay, but I was like, it's just too much for every time I want peanut butter to have peanut butter with
Yeah.
honey.
Those are like some strong taste peanut butter.
Some
So
of
it's actually
some of the
reduced fat, I think. I don't think it's
reduced
non-fat. I
fat
think
or
it's
what did
reduced
okay,
fat.
reduced fat.
Yeah.
I'll try it.
It's truly, like, it's so good. Like, we go out to peanut butter so a thing that we do is to get my dog to stop being annoying is when we have a jar of peanut butter that's done, we just let her lick the inside of the jar, and so when I'm done with it, I just store them all up. There's probably 6 or 7 jars up in a cabinet right now because I eat them so quickly and then she eats them so quickly, it's just like a constant churning out. So, yeah, that's a little information on me and my unhealthy habits.
Dan's mentioned how he eats his shit out of the jar on this show before, and his character is becoming like, I need to just make you into a superhero outfit that's like Peanut Butter Man or something, because it's becoming part of your personality at this point.
I say it's my favorite food, even though it's not technically like a meal, it is my favorite thing to eat.
It's up there for me. Like I really like peanut butter. I will
Yeah,
say. I
it's so versatile.
probably have it most days, to be
Yeah,
honest. Yeah.
100%. I'm allergic to all other nuts, and there was this farmer's market peanut butter that had, like, some cashews or something in it that I would eat, and I would get an allergic reaction, and my throat would start to close up, but the peanut butter was so good, I would still get it. I would just eat it smaller amounts and risk my life because I loved peanut butter so much. That's how good it was. I
I
missed it.
love
I should go back and get some more of that and just have an EpiPen on hand, but it's good stuff.
Kyle has mentioned for the plot earlier, and Dan has been such a character that this next ticket is. You like how my little segue there?
I love it.
This next ticket is going to be crazy. It's not, I don't know why it's in the side quest bucket, but it is. It's character driven versus plot driven.
And this is character driven versus plot driven. That's such a
I will.
I
widespread.
know, I'm like
I immediately went to Cautious Castle when I think of this. Like, I don't know
Okay.
why.
no, it's
Because
good.
Jacoby will not be listening, but he should be. We'll get him in. Jacoby, you're mentioned
Plug
here.
the show.
Yeah, plug the show. Jacoby, you're here. You have to watch. I'm mentioning you, Jacoby. We'll send him. We'll send him that.
It'll be a
Anyways,
clip.
Jacoby and I always talk about like the lore. That's why we create our games, I think. And so when I think of plot and character, I actually like think of my players more as characters in my universe, if you will. And like, so I'm always thinking about like plot and character driven, and I guess what I want to design a game around, right? And I think that is kind of that like struck a chord with me right away when that was the topic. I don't know
love
if I have
it.
a strong opinion either way.
The boba
Probably,
never
yeah,
fails, honestly. It
never
never,
fails.
it's like it knows Destiny chose this ticket for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I
I
think it's very intriguing.
I would completely agree. I think like when it's character driven, almost is like there are characters from TV shows and movies that I would watch them do anything
Mhm.
because they're so interesting and like I'm thinking I don't know why she's coming to mind, but the mom from Schitt's Creek, I would watch her do anything.
In peace, Moira
I
Rose.
know, seriously. But like there's those people
That's
like
so
that that
true,
are
though. Yeah.
just so enigmatic and like Starcade hasn't really been on as long to have as many characters, but I will say, like, my favorite parts of the show are not, like, the actual games, but watching people approach them and just, like,
Yes.
the wild things that come out of their mouths. Like, watching people have their weird ways of approaching it is so much more fun than, like, actually seeing if anybody even gets the answer right. Like, at the end of the
Yep.
game, I don't care who wins. I
Very
I'm just
that.
having fun watching people play.
Yeah. It is for the plot. That's what I keep wanting to say. So maybe it is like maybe I am more
Maybe
plot driven because like we do it all for the plot. Like we
True.
create these characters for the plot. But I completely agree because I think of some of I can't think of one off the top of my head, but maybe this will open it up to you all where they'll start a spin-off show based off of like another character from the show, right? And things of that. I mean, you brought up Moira from Schitt's Creek and how I would absolutely watch that too. But character driven is like very real in the industry, I feel like, because you are seeing all these spin-off shows or these like retakes on different shows.
the
Yeah.
one that my brain goes to right away is the Sam from iCarly and Kat
Yeah.
from Victorious. And
Yeah.
those were like the two characters that if you were to watch those shows, you'd be like, I could watch these characters do anything.
Very much so.
And then what did they do? They literally slapped them into their own spinoff together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then look at both of them now too.
Yeah.
Separately off of the show.
Super successful. I love those queens. I will
Yeah.
follow them to the ends of earth. But no, it's, yeah. I probably lean more towards character driven because for me, as good as the plot can be, if the characters don't keep me invested or interested throughout the
Yeah.
entire journey, I don't care
Very
what the
true.
plot is. And and sometimes I can sit through, yeah, I can sit through a whole movie and I probably couldn't tell you what the movie was about, but I was having a good time because the characters just recently, and I'm surprised we did not talk about this at the before the intro. Devil's Wear Prada 2. The Devil
Yeah.
Wears Prada too. I realized coming out of that movie, as much as I enjoyed the movie, I was like, what was the plot of this
Yeah. True.
movie?
Yeah.
What was this movie about? And it was very much just I enjoyed my time with Miranda.
Yeah.
And just very like catching. It was like I told Dan a little behind the scenes. I told him it felt like I was catching up with old friends.
Yeah.
Kasha wants to say
100%.
hi real quick so she doesn't step on the laptop and like exit me or something.
Kasha, don't do that. Kasha's like, get off this call. You need to pet
Yeah,
me.
she's literally like, seriously?
But I completely agree with you there. I think it's like there are plenty of good plots out there. There's only so many like characters that will keep you hooked in like that. And it even goes
Yeah.
beyond the character too. Sometimes it's the actor themselves. Like I bring up Robin Williams a lot, but like Robin Williams has done a lot of great movies and the stories are good, but even when their stories are not good, the fact that he's in them and he's just being himself, I'll watch him do anything. Like he's
So
just
true.
so
Jim Carrey, Robin Williams.
yeah,
There's
Jim
very
Carrey's a good one
few.
too.
There's very few actors that can do that, but when they do, you're like, holy shit. Even if the character is not well written or like the character arc is not great, you're just like, it's still a great
If they
character.
compel you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
And you've sold me. I'll even like bring it back to the reality game realm and say like
Jacoby.
a game can be for Jacoby, a game can be as compelling as you want to write it. But if the players aren't making the moves and they aren't compelling you and they aren't like putting their whole into the arc,
Yeah.
it's not going to be an interesting game because the character storylines are what really drives how dynamic a game, a
100%.
show, a TV is. So you sold me on it.
Look at Survivor too. Like Survivor this season, I think people are very upset with the twists and the type of story that they're trying to tell. But I personally still love, well, a lot of my favorite people are gone now, but like watching those people play, even when they lose, is so exciting. It's just like it's I'm obsessed. Like they make the whole thing. Even if the
Yeah.
games on the back end are frustrating the hell out of me, the people themselves, I'll watch them do anything.
Even if Mr. Beast shows up.
I mean, boy, the
Am I
way
allowed
I
to say
grit
that
my
word on
teeth
this channel?
through all
I'm kidding.
that.
That might be the only. No, I'm just kidding. The way you describe that, Kyle, though, is what I can kind of link that and relate to that in D&D terms. Like when you play Dungeons and Dragons, like you can make as a DM, you can make as compelling of a storyline as you want. You can have whatever, like all these different trajectories the stories can take. But if your players are not like keeping the story interesting, like it just falls flat. Speaking of flat, I have yet another ticket. I
The
knew that.
Earth, flat Earth versus round Earth.
I
No.
know, I was gonna say.
Well, I very clearly am flat. Or no, let me stop.
Yeah.
This one is this is going to be our main quest ticket pull for the day. It's living in a world of magic versus a world of technology, advanced technology.
Advanced technology.
Okay, so you're saying like living in a sci-fi world versus living in a fantasy world.
Yeah, let's set some parameters since we were able to do that with the previous ones. I would say technology as what we would imagine it maybe 100 years from now. So I would say 100 years from now, we probably have maybe not perfected, but close to perfected space travel, at least within our own nearby, like probably like moon. There's like any nearby planets, we could probably travel to those. I would say we would have probably like the means to have flying cars. I don't know if we would have the infrastructure for it yet in 100 years. I would say in 100 years, we'd have like AI robots already doing most of the work for us. It'd be very Wall-E, I would say, like somewhere like where that's at. Maybe we could travel to different planets, but we don't because we already have like a space shuttle that we can live on or something. I don't know.
Hmm.
We have these billionaires with crazy ideas, so who knows?
And then what is our like level of technology in the magic realm to set those parameters as well? Like, are we less developed than we are in this era? Are we? Yeah, I'll leave that open.
I
Right.
would
Is it
say
like
in
Lord of the Rings?
I would say be like 1800s era, where technology wasn't like as far back as like what Lord of the Rings probably depicts, but something along the line. Like we probably have indoor plumbing,
Yeah, yeah,
like we're at a comfortable stage of society where we have comforts at least, like technology advanced for comforts, but we don't have like cell phones, we don't have like
right.
engines or anything like that yet.
Okay, okay.
So think very like Avatar: The Last Airbender,
Yeah.
that
It was
kind
giving
of
One Piece for me. That's what
One
came up for
Piece.
some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yes. And then the other one, okay, I'm not a huge like video game gamer, but I like to think I'm fairly in the know. What is the really popular game that was out like last year that's very far in the technology forward? It's gonna drive me
Starfield?
crazy. No, and it's like a
Cyberpunk?
world. I think it might be Cyberpunk or
Cyberpunk
something.
Yeah.
27
And yeah, 27. Yep, that's what it was.
2077, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
2077. Yeah, yeah, something like that. Because and I felt like I kept seeing like reference videos of it or people playing it, and it was very neon, very like Japan, Tokyo, and like
Yeah.
hologram popping up in front of you, like very. Is that too far out? Is that
No, that's about where I'm thinking, right?
okay?
Like we're not talking about Star Wars level yet, probably like where
Sure. Yeah.
intergalactic travel is probably the thing, but we're talking like, yeah, we can do it'd be like very
In that,
cyberpunk. Yeah, within the Milky Way for sure. And
I oh, good.
no, I was just gonna cap it off with like in terms of like technology would be so comfortable where like we as humans or society we probably like don't have to work for currency anymore or anything, or currency is just like a different concept than what it is now. Maybe like time is like currency, kind of like the
Mhm.
what's that one movie where they like their life force is kind of like how much is
The
also like the
Justin
money.
Timberlake
The
movie,
Justin
yeah.
Timberlake one, yeah. Just in time, maybe.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It would be crazy if the Justin Timberlake movie was called Just in Time.
It might be.
See, my gut goes I'm not like the biggest fantasy person, but my gut goes towards fantasy just because I feel like when we see these types of futuristic worlds, it's always like either post-apocalyptic or just about to be apocalyptic. You know what I mean? It's like some evil corporation is like making you is like stealing your like I know you said it's like you don't have to pay for anything, but there's always like somebody in the background exploiting you,
It's
you
always
know?
exploitation. It's always like it's like at the cost of something. It's always
First thing
at
that
the
came to
cost of
mind
something.
was when you said we don't have to work and like currency is something. I'm like, well, that's great, but where do I sit in that? In that,
Mhm. Yeah, 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 yeah.
what am I doing? Where do I live then if we're not working to make money or anything like that? So that kind of caught my mind a little bit too in terms of like where do I sit
You
in
know what
this
makes this
realm?
question, this ticket very much more intriguing right now at least, is that I feel like we're in the pivotal point in history where we have to make that decision of like
Yes.
what the future will look like definitively. And so it's hard to it's h- like, I was born in 93. You guys were born
95,
90
so I'm like right there. Yeah.
late 80s.
Dan's like a little
Okay, boomer.
90.
Uh
I was like, you're
90.
only a
That
little
you're
older.
this is still in the 90s. So I grew up in an era where as kids we could imagine like what the future was like, right? We had like this crazy concept of like we had a good picture of what that looked like. And I think right now in 2026 we're at a point where we don't even know what the future looks like. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
This
We
got
can
deeper than most episodes, but yeah.
I know.
that's getting deep. No, but I work in tech as well, and so I have this like intrigue every day of what the future of my job and my career is as well because I'm a less technical tech person that is more on the people side of it. So there are elements of like sitting in the industry, there's elements that I don't think AI could really replace in terms of my role and like as a program manager or in recruiting. I don't imagine that a tool or robot ticket could be trained to do exactly what I do, but it could do a lot of what I do. So it's interesting, but it's also interesting how bad it is in some of these instances too right now. It is not trained for takeover. So it's not like the movies. It's not like the video games that we see. Like anyways, I could go on that specific rant forever, but the tech, I guess bringing it back in, I was kind of leaning fantasy as well because I'm like I'm not a super, super techie person in general. Like while I do work in tech, I don't have like everything set up smart home, smart this, that, like everything in my house. I do kind of keep it elementary with what I like to utilize. And so I could see myself, I always imagine myself in another world, like taking a step back against that and, maybe relying on like the magic or the skill or
You're
things
gonna be
like that.
part of the rebels when we inevitably have to go like versus the robots. Like
There you go.
you're either for the robots and so you fight alongside them, or we're gonna be the
I'll be
rebels.
a rebel.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
be a
yeah.
rebel. Yeah, I
So
don't think we're gonna beat them, but but I'll fight against
We're
them.
gonna try.
we're gonna try. As they listen to this podcast 50 years in the future and they're like hunting
Yeah,
us
it's a
down.
little-
Okay. So this is where I'm gonna answer. I will answer with I'm also not a big fantasy person. So I'm gonna lean more towards the world of tech. I'm gonna actually just say that's where my stance is. I'm a very techie person. I say that, but like I'm not as advanced as most people. I can hold my own, but I like to consider myself a tech person. I like to have technology around me. I like to utilize it to the best of my capabilities. And I worked in tech for a long time. And I will say, as a writer, I also had tried to develop, I had like this soft idea for a novel or maybe like a series where the main character would be like a technomancer, which I thought was pretty cool. Like it would be like a group of people with powers and abilities because again, this is a almost post-apocalyptic
Yeah.
world. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see you smiling, Dan. It would be almost a nigh a post-apocalyptic world, and something happens with a big corporation, bringing it back to what Kyle said earlier. And so these group of individuals develop abilities, and the main character would be a technomancer where he can like kind of communicate with machinery, and like be able to put pieces together to create something out of like scrap. So clearly my bias is showing. And so
No,
I
but I
would,
see it. You're inspired by that, and for
yeah.
sure. Yeah,
And
like that's kind of yeah.
And the way I see it is, I remember watching an anime, and think about it like this. I don't know if you guys would agree, but isn't technology just magic explained?
There
Yeah,
there are kind of yeah, there are things that you could rationalize that for sure. In a lot of these animes, there are a lot of these like, worlds that you thinking. And I wonder if my bias is from like recently just I've connected with a lot of my like nostalgic half and watched a lot of like the childhood animes that I watched growing up and shows of that nature. So I'm thinking like Full Metal Alchemist, like One Piece, like this kind of stuff. And they aren't super tech focused. So maybe that's just what I'm like, oh, they're very magic and whimsy and those sorts of, things. So that's what's on my mind recently. But
yeah.
in terms of like the world building that I have on my mind every day. But I
'Cause
think both would be fun.
I think they would
No,
both be.
I completely agree. I mean, like I would rather fly space travel
Mhm.
than, lift something with my mind. Like I would rather do stuff like that. The only difference for me is like this futuristic world of fantasy is something where it's like because we're not heading in that direction, we can determine what that looks like, as opposed to a future of technology is sort of like we're at the start of it and all we have to know what's going to be like is what we have now, which is not great. But if it was like a Star Trek type universe where
Right.
you can teleport and there's no money and everybody's happy and like, there's no more wars. I think that's different than sort of the 100 years in the future if this is the starting point right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's like that's why I'm thinking like, isn't technology just magic that's not explained? Because imagine if we were to take like any piece of technology we have now, 100, 200 years into the past, and showed it to them, they'd be like, "What is this sorcery?" You know what I
That's
mean?
true. It's true.
And so, if someone from 100 years from now came back to our timeline and showed us something, we would be like, "What is this magic?" Maybe, or we'd be like, "That's some advanced shit." I don't know.
Yeah.
But imagine
Maybe a
taking a
little
cell
both.
phone.
Maybe a
Yeah.
little bit of both.
Imagine taking a cell phone back to like George Washington and like being like, you can talk to people anywhere with this. And he would be like, how does it work? And I'd be like, I have no idea. You know
It's
what I mean? It's one of those
inexplainable.
things
It's
where it's like,
magic.
yeah, it gets to the point too where it's like, I don't understand how a cell phone I couldn't fully explain to you how a cell
So the
phone
Right.
works.
radio waves from this device go out into the air, and it, it's like
Yeah.
you start
You
to
can only do
explain
so
it. You're like,
much.
even if you could understand it and explain it to him, it would still sound like
Crazy.
nonsense to him. He'd be like, "What?"
Yeah,
He's like,
absolutely.
not too much.
He'd be
Yeah.
like, God would, like forsaken thee. I don't know however they spoke back in the past in the 1700s. 1700s, right?
Yeah, 1776. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't do all that, but 1700s, yes.
Well, speaking of George Washington, I don't know. Sometimes the segue on the show makes no sense. Just like,
Let's speak about him. No,
actually, speaking of George Washington, let's bring it back to the very first thing we talked about on this show, which is Kyle. See, I got there. Kyle's Golden Stub.
okay.
Excited.
So, if you don't know, and maybe this is the first episode you have listened to with a guest on, we award our guests with a Golden Stub. It's a admit one ticket to the show where they're allowed to bring their hottest take on any subject and then see how Dan and I feel about it. That's essentially how it works.
Okay.
Without further
Okay.
ado, go for it, Kyle. You have the floor.
Okay. I'm trying to think exactly how I want to present this because I don't know if I want to like put you on one side versus the other side right away, right? But my golden stub is related to TV series versus movies. And
Mm.
that's what we're discussing. I guess I'll just say like my controversial opinion, like I can't stand a I'll just come out and say it. Like, I think movies are so boring because it's like it starts and it stops within like 2 hours and then you're like, it's done. Like, that's all. And yes, you could go like watch another one, whatever, in another series. But I don't know, like a good TV series for me, any day I will go to a TV series section of a streaming app. I won't even go to the movies because I just want to like dig into something. So that's my golden stuff is that a good TV series will outweigh a good movie every day.
And actually, so if that's where it ends,
If
I
that's
want
where it ends.
if that's where it ends, maybe there's more. What I want to
I
do
can keep
is
going.
I'll go first, but what I want to do is have Dan and I each ask you a expanding
Yes.
question.
Yeah.
To give us maybe a little bit more of how you feel about this. And then actually let's go with 2 questions because I have 2 questions for you. Yes, I'm bringing it. Interview skills at the ready. Okay, first and foremost, what's your favorite TV series of all time?
Great question.
Yeah. Cuz I need to know
Like the
where
baseline we're working with here.
Yeah, what we're working with.
Yeah. Maybe this just comes from I wish I had the pre-work, right? Like not I wish I had the pre-work, but I'm like, I've watched a lot of good TV series. Let me put this into a few prongs for you.
Sure.
Reality TV has been something that I've watched since I was 5 years old. Like Survivor, I've watched since I was 5 years old when it first came out. I think it's a deeper conversation, maybe to add the context. Like, I'm so compelled by reality TV that I'm just like, the fact that we're looking at real people, and I think it's like a there's a psychological aspect to it, and it changes every season, and you get something different from every episode. Survivor is a short answer for reality TV. I want to give you a scripted answer as well, because that's probably like more related to a movie, if you will, than a Survivor. I'm trying to think of something different than Schitt's Creek because we already discussed it today. But like when I think of a series that I could always go back to and rewatch, and it's like always fresh and will compel me, there aren't too many like modern shows that I think are as good as Schitt's Creek, like hold up as good as Schitt's Creek. I also, maybe on the more niche end, I think Broad City kind of changed my life. If you've seen that or not, like it is niche. You either think it's really funny or it's not. But if you watch that, you'll maybe understand like where part of my comedy, from like who I am from a core, comes from. So that's a scripted series that I would say is really, really good in my opinion as well.
So then my next question is to circle back to the character driven or
Mhm.
plot driven. When you're watching these shows, is it the premise of the show that keeps you in, or is it the characters, I guess? We're bringing it right back to character versus plot.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, I mean, character versus plot has a lot to do with this as well.
That might be the name of this episode.
Character
it.
versus plot. I think it really could be.
It's very thematic today.
I also partially struggle with character versus plot because I think character and plot should be like what really brings me to these things,
Sure.
because it is a good mix of it, right? Like when I think of the TV shows that I love, it's like relatable characters that I could see myself in, but I also don't have to like see myself in a character to like think it's funny and relate to it. But that's both in a movie and a TV show.
So,
So
like, I'll give you
yeah,
some examples.
yeah.
Have you watched The Good Place?
I have seen 2 seasons of The Good Place, and then they took it off of Netflix as I was in the middle of watching it. So
Yeah, I had the same issue.
yeah,
It's
but
a
very,
I
very great TV show
I
from
would
what I
urge you guys to finish it. I
Oh,
will say
I finished it, but it
okay.
did mess me up when I think somebody got me onto the Plex account or something like that at the time, and then I was able to watch it. But yeah,
Help me out, and we can get
yeah,
this
I'll get you. I'll get
accomplished.
you.
Yeah.
definitely finish it if you can, Kyle. But I will say the first couple seasons are way stronger than the last couple, but it does wrap up the whole story in a nutshell. I bring that show up because you mentioned something about like how you don't have to see yourself within the character to feel something for the character, and The Good Place is like that for me because I don't relate or like feel
Yeah.
attached to any of those characters in any way. I'm like, I don't see myself in in literally any character on that show, but I am compelled to watch it. So like it draws me in so well.
Yeah.
And I think that's the premise of the show. I feel like the fact that all I want to know is whether or not they were actually in the good place is what kind of really kept me in. And then the characters were they were just a good time on top of that.
Yeah. Some of them weren't the most developed. I mean, maybe I did just watch the first 2, so I'm like, you're not doing the most with some of these
No,
characters, which is
you're
fine.
right.
Yeah.
Some of them don't get fully fleshed out.
Without spoiling it too much, though, Dan might know what I'm talking about. There is one character, and it's the character that in the beginning you're kind of like, oh, this is a nobody character. Gets like the biggest twist at the end, and I think
Okay.
Do you know who I'm talking about, Dan?
My
Is it the Asian guy?
Yes.
Okay,
okay,
'cause that's
yeah.
who I was referring to, and I'm glad that they do that, I guess. Let's not let's put that little asterisk there,
Yeah. No spoilers for sure because it is worth.
but I'm glad because that he was like,
He
I was
does,
like, he's a very good actor who's not really like giving a good character here to
like they
me.
weren't utilizing him, but I think that
Yeah.
was like part of the whole thing. When you look back at it, you're like, oh, it all makes sense why they did it the way they did it.
Mhm.
The other example I wanted to bring up was Breaking Bad. Have you
Okay.
watched Breaking Bad?
I have not watched Breaking Bad, and that's a like big controversy
I
in
haven't
my
either,
life.
and I watched the
Yeah.
spinoff, and I didn't watch Breaking Bad.
I didn't watch the spin-off either.
This episode might be less of a Golden Stub and more of like, let me just introduce Kyle to all these great shows that he should watch, considering you're such a TV lover.
Yes.
Okay, well, that comes with high recommendation for me as well. I will say it's a really well-written series. And it does what you mentioned earlier, which is, that's why I brought it up. It balances the character and plot in a way that most shows don't do. And it's like, and it's not like one of those where, oh, some episodes it's more like the characters driving the narrative, and some episodes it's the plot. It's like, no, it's very consistent on like being both driving it all the way through.
Yeah.
And so, highly recommend that show.
Yeah. And maybe I'll try to like wrap it back to why I'm not as compelled by movies, or why I think like that. Like, I think I come off hypocritical as well, because I say this while I'll binge a TV show all day. I think I struggle with like paying attention to a movie the whole time, because I get bored. Like, it's what, 2 hours, an hour and a half. It's like everything happens within that hour and a half. And I need to stay focused on it. I do love a good TV series that I can not like watch in the background, but like I know I'm not going to miss something crazy if I look away for a second while I'm doing work, doing things like this. I can rewind a little bit. And maybe that's part of it. Because, like I said, I am a hypocrite, because it's not about keeping my attention in the same sense that I'll watch 8 episodes of something in a day and that will keep my attention. Maybe I've always wondered what it is too. So this is my hot take with myself. I'm like getting psychological with it in my own head.
You
But
versus
it's just
who?
like,
Healing
yeah,
people all
me
over.
versus me. No,
It's you versus you.
yeah, I'll leave it at that. But I think I just love like going back to something and having more of it to watch, and like being able to reflect on what I had. A good movie series could compel me as well, perhaps, but for some reason it hasn't. I haven't like gotten into Harry Potter. I haven't gotten into, I know I'm crazy, like I didn't watch all that growing up, like the Twilight ones. It just,
Kyle,
like,
you're
what?
listing everything you haven't watched. You mentioned you haven't watched anything I've listed, and I'm starting to feel like, what have you watched?
Actually,
What
wait,
have I?
I have one question, and this is
Yes.
more of a selfish question, because I've asked Sven this as well. Kyle, have you seen the Indiana Jones movies?
Yes, I have seen
Okay,
those.
okay.
Yeah, I have seen those. And I've seen Harry Potter, to clarify. I've seen like 3 of them. And I was just like,
There's
Yeah,
7
no,
or
I get it.
8.
If it's not for you, it's not for you. Sven hadn't seen them, so was my thing there.
okay.
I
My mom, who's here, is very into Indiana Jones, like the old ones. I don't know why. Like, so I had watched all of those ones growing up as well.
Yeah.
So,
So, I
yeah.
mean, my favorites here. I have this is an Indiana Jones thing here.
Okay.
I've got a tattoo on my leg. Big fan. But I will say it is like the exception to the rule, because I do feel like I agree with you on the timing thing. I think TV shows have like breaks built into them where you can just stop watching, because there are, an episode is what, an hour at most. Like you can just stop watching and then you kind of go into something else. And I also feel like when you were saying about like getting bored or possibly missing something in a movie, because the whole story has to be told in 2.5 hours, there's no room for like fluff. There's no room for like extra stuff. But a TV show has 8, 12, 20 episodes to tell a story that they can take their time. They can really develop the
Yeah.
characters more. I think I mean, like, I don't have a question, because I think I just fully agree with you.
Ben's mad. He was mad in the DMs. He's like, interesting, because I've watched 3 movies this week.
While you guys were talking, I was trying to come up with like a devil's advocate, and I really can't think of anything, because even though a lot of my I have so much nerdy stuff around here, even though these are all like
Film-based.
movie-based things, the just core of a show versus a movie, I do feel like I get more into the show. And the shows also have like a community aspect to them that some movies will have.
A good movie can do everything a show can do. It's what I feel like I'm in my head. I'm like, well, that movie series can do this. Well, that
Yeah.
does do this. But all of that to say, all shows do, or most shows do,
True.
this definitely.
And I think a lot
yeah.
of movies in that short time frame sometimes have to choose between plot and characters, whereas a TV show can kind of do both. Some TV shows will go on too long, but then again, some movies will make too many movies. Like I fully agree with you that I just think there's something to being able to like compartmentalize stories a little bit more,
Mhm.
and you can tell a longer, more nuanced story over the course of like 6 seasons than you could with a couple movies, because with those movies you're telling like a section of the person's story. Like you don't see a lot of movies jumping like year after year after year within the same movie, whereas opposed to like, I don't watch Grey's Anatomy, but Grey's Anatomy has been telling like a multi-year story
Yeah, yeah,
that like you would not get if it was the Grey's
mhm,
Anatomy movies, you know what I mean?
yeah.
As a watcher of Grey's Anatomy, I can concur
Okay.
that
Yeah,
it's gone on way too long.
way
So
too
no, I kind of agree, and I wanted to point out that the fact that we've come a long way with TV shows and film too, but with TV shows, the fact that back in the day, a season would be like 20 to 26 episodes or something, and now it's like down to like 8 to 12. That's a huge thing. So, I just wanted to bring this point up as well. How come in the Middle got like a reboot recently that was supposed to be a movie that got turned into a show, but when you watch it, you realize it's just a movie cut up to be a show. So, like, what are we doing here? I
right.
More on them.
I yeah, so I loved the reboot for what it was, and I realized it's kinda like a special, but I
Mhm,
just didn't like that it was released that way. Also, this is exactly how I feel about the Marvel TV projects, especially for that
mhm.
phase 4 or whatever, like, whenever they had, like, WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Loki and Moon Knight, and, like, they had, like, 8 TV shows in 1 year or some shit, I don't know.
Like, doing too much.
Too much, which listen, as a comic book lover, I appreciated it, but also I want to appreciate it more if you take the time to release them. So like a slower release and to develop them. And to bring up the point I was bringing up, I felt like they were all just movies that got cut up into shows. They were
Yeah.
all about 6 to 8 episodes long, which is what a runtime of about like an hour and a half to two and a
You're
half
right.
hours. That's a movie length. And I think there's like, I don't know what studios are doing these days, but it feels like they don't have the intention cemented in before they do a project, right? Like it's like I'm imagining behind the scenes production, right? And they're sitting there planning out the show or the movie. They don't know. That's the problem. They have probably the title written on their
Yeah.
paper and it says like Moon Knight. And they're like, will this be a movie or will this be a TV show? Who knows? But we're going to start it anyways. And whatever ends up happening, we'll market it later and we'll figure it out. And it's like, oh, 2 months into the production, we filmed all this content, whatever, whatever, and now they're like, "Oh, it's a TV show." It's like, "Hmm, that's crazy." Because now you can tell, I feel like, when content
It's
is
yeah,
filmed that way to be a movie and then it gets cut into a show. I'm like, I can
because
tell.
there isn't the time to sit with as much of the content,
Yeah.
the
The
side stories,
pacing, the
the
pacing.
pacing. Yeah. I wanna give a compliment to a movie series, though, I will say, because 'cause I'm thinking of what Dan said and what I love about TV series as well, because I'm a, like, hyper fixator in some cases, so I'll love to, like, Google all the side characters and, like, know what impact they have, like, even if they're, like, not very featured in this TV series, like, get to know them a little bit and, like, what I don't know, things they had, and I love, I cannot is it the Ballad of the Songbird and Snakes, is that what it's called? The new
Oh, Hunger
The
Hunger
Games.
Hunger Games?
Games film. So I've seen some of those, but I was extremely compelled. My friend wanted to go for her birthday. I haven't seen all the Hunger Games, but I've seen like maybe like good 1, 2, 3. If is there more than that or is there just 3?
I
There's
feel
like
like
some
there's
spin-off or prequels that have come out recently,
5,
yeah.
5?
maybe?
Okay, I've definitely seen the good like core ones. I saw her
Okay.
sister die. Sorry for spoilers, whatever.
I
I
won't
saw
remember.
right. But I loved that they did dig into the past of a character and, like, truly, like, world build around how they became rotted and evil and, gave so much color to a big part of that, what you wouldn't know and what you don't know in a lot of movies. Because it's like what is his name? Professor Snow? I don't wanna say Jon Snow, that's
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 Game of Thrones.
President
that's
Snow. Yeah.
Professor
President.
Snow, President Snow. Yeah. Because you see these movies and you're like, oh, there's just this like evil guy who wants to run the world because he's powerful and angry at his past, you know. But you're like, damn, like that guy's world like got fucked up.
Yeah. No, 100%.
And so that was a compliment because I did feel like, in a sense, I was watching a TV series or like watching a movie to add to. And I know it's a movie series, so I guess but like, yeah, I thought that was like giving giving some
See,
credit to the movie side.
I'm
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
doing this because it helps my argument for the film side. I'm clearly in the minority here, but on the film side, and B, because Dan has already brought up Indiana Jones, and I feel like for every time he brings up Indiana Jones, he knows what's coming.
Which is like every episode, but okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to bring up The Matrix because it's literally the greatest film series of all time. I've talked
Mm.
about this ad nauseum. I'm a big fan of the Matrix series, and it does what you just mentioned about the Hunger Games. It
Mm.
does a really good job of world building, and I think it's just one of those movies that psychologically puts you in a space where you have to think beyond your perspective of the world as it is today, you know? And it's still a relevant plot to today's world, which is what I keep trying to reiterate to Dan when he tries to argue that Indiana Jones is better. Literally, I don't know if
Because
you
it
know this.
is.
Okay, wait, those are very different. I'm not going to answer what's better or not. I have seen both.
That could
And
be
so
a whole episode itself.
that could be a whole
It,
episode.
it
but
was the
It
last
was a whole.
episode. It was probably a good 60% of the episode was me like turning red out of just pure fury about it. It's the most animated I ever got on this.
I
But
don't know
yeah.
if you know this, Kyle, but literally the show promotion is like, if you look at our YouTube banner, it's literally Dan as Indiana Jones and me as Neo from The Matrix.
Okay,
Going
so
at
we
each
do
other.
have the branding there. Okay.
It's there. It's a thing, which is why I brought it up.
So funny.
I would say, listen, this will come out a little bit later, but this week I've watched Michael. I've watched The Devil Wears Prada 2, and I'm going to watch Mortal Kombat 2 this tomorrow, actually, which I feel like are three very different films, three
Yeah.
different styles.
I
of
don't think they
movie.
could be more different, but yeah.
They're literally so different. And so if that's not the range of like films that I go watch every week or every other week, I don't know what else to tell you, but it's like, for me, I don't see film as like a place or like something that I have to deviate my attention or whatever. Like I don't
Yeah.
like when I go with the intention of like, okay, I want to isolate myself from the world and I want to escape for like 2 hours into a new world. And so that's like the purpose for me. It's like my kind of, some people go out to the woods and go fishing, or, they go snowboarding, maybe they go to the beach. My happy place is at the movie theater. I love going to like an empty theater midweek at like a matinee showing. That's like my happy place. I go in there.
I hear that a lot, to be honest. Like, yeah,
It's
that
the
makes sense.
It's great.
it's the best way to experience movies. I feel like of course there's also like when you want to see a bigger movie and so you want to go with like a crowd of people. It's hit or miss. I want to say that's something that I could probably talk about in another episode, but like sometimes you get a crowd of people that are really annoying, and then sometimes you get a crowd of people that you're like, this is cool to watch it with you guys, and I'm having that shared experience with like humanity. Because not to get too deep, but we already did earlier with like humanity and society and technology and stuff.
Yeah.
But like I think that's missing in the world today is like having shared experiences. And I feel like films bring that out. And I really hope that like some cinematographer, some movie maker out there can like find a way to get people back in those seats, because I think it's necessary.
I will push back on that slightly because I do feel like
Sure.
TV shows also do have that sense of community. I mean, how many people go to the bars to watch Drag Race together or Survivor together,
That's true.
right? Or even think of like these big cultural shows like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone watched it. Everyone would go to work on Monday and they would talk about what happened on Game of Thrones and how great was that. Like
Empire was that for a little while, like a couple years.
Yeah.
Empire, it was like you couldn't go to work without knowing what happened on Empire.
On Empire,
Yeah.
very that.
Yeah.
And I think like when like if there's a story that you want to tell through a movie, it's like one movie. Let's say it's a franchise. It's one movie every like 5 years. That's a lot of time in between to like not be engrossed in it, as opposed to a TV show. It's once a week, and then you have like a 6 month break before the next season comes
Unless you're
back.
Euphoria.
It's like 8,
Well, maybe
10,
not every show.
maybe
Yes.
it's like 2 years. Sometimes it could be long. I
Or
will push
maybe it's a
back on
British
that.
show that does 2 episodes every 5 years.
But
Like,
Okay.
yeah, Sherlock. But I do think, like, there's, like
Which, all that to say, we have to appreciate Drag Race for whether you like it or not, the fact that they're able to crank out, like, we just finished season 18.
well, yeah.
All Stars literally just happened yesterday. Like,
it just premiered today or
or
yesterday, right?
today, yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday,
Yeah.
I just saw that.
Like,
Kasha just knocked over my water. Can I go grab that real
Oh, yeah,
quick?
yeah,
Are you
yeah,
able
yeah.
to are you able to cut this out? This
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
quick. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm like,
You
girl,
could.
what the fuck? I'll be right back.
I think, yeah, I'm like in that same vein. Like, I feel like I think movies are definitely the way to go.
If you say, I mean, I still think there's so much you can do with TV. You could tell longer stories, shorter stories. I think there's so many different versions of it.
I
Do you want to wait for Kyle? I don't know if we should keep talking until.
We can. It's just a conversation.
Okay, all right.
If it needs to be cut out, I can cut it out and post edit. But
Okay, well, I wasn't sure, but yeah.
you know what it is? It's at the end of the runtime for a normal episode. And so it's like this awkward, like, should we just say our goodbyes?
Yeah.
Should we not? But like, I'm also down to just keep it going, and then
Sure.
if it
Yeah,
needs to be
up to
cut
you.
out, like it's we'll just call it like a coffee break or something, you know?
Sorry about that. I had a cup of on the counter as well as my water bottle, and I was watching her like knock it off of the nightstand. It didn't break. The cup didn't break, but there was a spill.
She's like, I
Kasha's
disagree with
devious.
you.
Kasha's devious. You
She's
know
like,
what?
this is ridiculous.
I
She's
mentioned-
a movie fan, I guess. She was upset at me.
She's like, girl, get your happy behind behind the film side, because we're a film house up in this bitch.
She's like, Survivor again, girl.
Like, I'm
she's
so
like the same-
over it.
She's like, the same thing happens every week. Somebody goes home every week.
She's like, I could tell you the next episode before it even airs.
Right.
I mentioned that it was going to be a coffee break. It would have been hilarious if you came with a mug. And
Oh my god, I have the mug.
it would have been awesome. No, we also mentioned how it's like at the end of our runtime typically, but I also mentioned it then that I don't mind if it goes longer than normal, because it's really just a conversation. And so, yeah. I will say, to cap off that Golden Stub. Wait, this was a Golden Stub?
This was a Golden Stub.
This is a good Golden Stub.
The
This would
fact-
have been in the main quest bucket too.
Exactly. That's what I was like. It's a good Golden Stub if it would have just been on the show naturally.
You actually
Okay.
should probably check the main quest bucket to see if it's in there and take it out later on. Just a heads up.
I'm reworking through the buckets, so like
Okay,
it'll get
okay.
worked through. And if film versus TV shows is in there, I'm gonna be like, Kyle.
Kyle.
I'm just gonna
it
write
was-
Kyle on. Maybe I'll mail
We
it to you.
We could say both. Like, I do have an appreciation for both, but that's it's been a forever thing for me. Maybe I just can't hang. Like, I can't sit and commit to 2.5 hours of a plot, like, from start to finish. Maybe it's like, do better, compel me. We'll leave, maybe
He's-
both.
I
Both
do feel
truths
like
exist.
TV has lately risen and movies have fallen. Like, I feel like, I mean, not only less people going to movies, you hear that stuff all the time, but I also feel like the quality of movies is dropping. Like, you hear more people being disappointed in movies, but then you also hear people being like, can you believe this amazing show that came out?
See,
Look at
yeah.
Love on the Spectrum. Love on the Spectrum is one of those shows that like no one gave up, like even thought about it, and now it's like this huge phenomenon. I cry every episode, but I love it. I've loved it more than any movie I've seen in years because it's just so compelling.
You
know
know
what I mean?
what's something that's indicative of that is like the fact that TV is like rising and film are falling. You see more and more A-list celebrities, A-list actors taking on TV roles
Yeah,
than
Mhm.
movie roles, which is like,
Harrison
That's
Ford is on
interesting.
an Apple TV show, something that like
Yeah.
you said that 10 years ago would be a crazy thing to even think about.
There's no way. And
Yeah.
you see,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
been happening more frequently. I mean, even our favorite Pedro Pascal,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
he's on both, which is crazy. Like,
He's on
there's
2 TV shows.
Well, I was gonna say, what was the other one that he's
He's on
on?
Mandalorian and Last of Us.
Mandalorian.
Yeah.
It's crazy. The world is changing. The world is not ending, regardless of what you
Hopefully.
might think, because we are here to keep it going. You versus who will continue to thrive, and we're here for it.
Love it.
Yeah.
I think
So
we could tap off.
That was a beautiful cap off. Yes.
the golden gavel has spoken. We have ended this episode at a 2 versus 1. I think it's Dan and Kyle versus Sven.
Okay.
I think so.
But I want to hear what you guys think at home to our listeners. I know Lady, I shout her out because she's our very dedicated fan. I want to know what she thinks, and I'm sure she's going to tell me.
Get it,
Hit us
lady?
up. Let us know.
Say
I
hi,
want to hear what
Lady, guys.
Jacoby thinks. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have Lady, Jacoby, Dan. Who's the one
Who are
person
you
that
shouting
who's
out?
shouting
Who am I
out?
shouting out?
That you know
Steve,
will
you better be
listen.
listening to this, Steve.
Steve.
For
He's-
every episode of Starcade, before it starts, he goes, "Do I have to watch tonight?" So he better be listening to the podcast. I'll tell him that. And I always say yes. And he always goes, "All
That's
right."
so me coded with everybody cautious castle. Wait, is this live? I forgot.
It's
No, okay, wait, I'm just gonna say every time there's a werewolf night, I'm like, girl, do I have to go? Like, as you think like, not every time. Let me not say every time. But I'm like, I get Steve. I get Steve.
Look, I'm not gonna. Maybe I shouldn't say this on the show. Are we live? Maybe I'll cut this out. But there are times, even with this show, I'm like, do I need to show up? Like, I know.
I
That's
can't do this by myself.
Somebody's got to turn the lights on.
Yeah, nobody wants my one-sided opinions.
Dan's like, so I guess I'll talk to myself today.
Oh, I would. Don't even. You want a 3-hour episode on my opinions? You'll get it.
You know, there was a point in time at the early development of this show where I was like, I don't know if I have a co-host or if I'll have a steady string of co-hosts or guests. I might have to just do this show on my own. And I'm like, do I just sit here and talk to myself for 2 hours?
That's like 90% of podcasts, so you'll be fine.
Maybe you could
1000%.
talk to AI. You could do a whole podcast with it to wrap the whole thing around. In 100 years, you could film a podcast with your AI technology bestie.
Okay, Kyle, I see
your
you,
Dan bot. I guess.
podcast producer. Okay, I see you with those ideas. Maybe we need to rope him into our little production team and
God.
give.
I don't know if Kyle has any more space for any more
I'm like,
production.
listen, you could fit me in where you could find me. Pencil it in.
Just like
No,
a kitty
I love
cat.
it. Yes, exactly. She's always around.
Well, I want to thank you guys for listening. I want to thank Dan and Kyle for being here today. You guys are precious souls, and I really appreciate your energy. You guys, I might have asked myself that question, oh, do I need to show up today? And you guys being here just made me feel that much better. So
Thank
Yay.
you.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yes,
This is a fun
we are
one.
all asking ourselves that every day, but there are these little moments are what really kind of bring that out. So this was so
Absolutely.
fun. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank
I'm
you for
gonna-
being here, Kyle.
That one's going to be a clip because that's going to inspire somebody somewhere out there.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. Yeah.
Cut out the part where you say, though, that's going to be a cliff.
Oh, yeah. That part is gone. But thank you guys for listening to another episode of You versus Who. We've run a little long today, but you guys love it. I know it. If you haven't already, follow us on socials. We have the
Yes.
infamous clips will be on there. I like to put little sound effects on them. They're sometimes a little hilarious, sometimes a little cringe, but that's me.
It's perfect.
Yeah, it's totally on brand. Follow us at You versus Who Pod or You versus Who One on TikTok. Let's see, what else? Have I forgotten anything? Dan, do you have anything?
No. Kyle, do you have anything out to plug?
And
I mean,
I'll-
No, I don't like to plug my shit on other
Okay.
people's stuff. So I'm more than happy to come and support your thing. So
Thank you.
yeah.
If you,
I'd say just go look into LRGs. There's a 50% chance Kyle's involved, whatever one you find.
Okay.
we mentioned Cautious Castle probably 1,000 times
Plenty
on
of
this
time.
episode.
True.
You can
I'm
look up
always
Cautious
weird about
Castle.
that. For some reason, I'm like, I don't come do these things to plug my tea. So I always, and I don't look at people sideways when they do, but I'm like, I just don't like to plug my tea. Like, we're here to talk about who versus you. Maybe that's a
Well, you know what?
different topic.
Then allow me a second to plug the Cautious Castle community, because I will say it is easily
Please.
the most fun community I have been a part of. I have not missed a werewolf night since I started. It is so much fun. Just
You did
like
in one.
it's true, you only have you have a
And you
weird
ate
work
that up.
schedule,
You ate up that one night. It was all
but
about you.
it's an absolute blast. It is so much
Oh,
fun,
thank
and
you. Yeah.
they're keeping Starcade going, and like you said, Sven, they're probably a good number of the listeners on the show too. So very appreciative to the Cautious Castle community.
Yes.
1,000%.
Maybe I'm humble about the games I do, but the community I build, that I will talk about forever because
Preach.
they are amazing. So yes.
We
And as
love
soon as
you
we
all.
hang up, I'll start telling you everybody I don't like in the game. I'm kidding.
Yeah. Okay, Shelly.
Shelly better be listening too. That's a fourth name in this episode. Holy
Shelly.
shit. No, the community has been wonderful. You guys are amazing. That is one thing that I've always wanted to do, is build a really healthy community of people who just enjoy talking about the things they like to do and
Yeah.
their hobbies and stuff. So yeah, that's literally the purpose of this show, is for people to talk about things that they enjoy and why they enjoy it.
Preach.
Love it. Well,
Well,
thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
let's say bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Peace.